Call the meeting to order, and we'll ask Commissioner Tony Smith to lead us in prayer.
Heavenly Father, I thank Thee for another wonderful day. Lord, thank You for the amount of rain that You gave us last night and today. Lord, bless the people that are sick and need Your help and Your guidance and recovery. Bless our troops that are fighting for our rights, our current way of life, the freedom that we have. Bless this group of people as we're here tonight to conduct the business for our county, so it's equal and fair to every individual in our county. In Thy name we pray, amen.
Amen. Thank you for that. Roll call, everybody's present. We're glad for that. Approval of the agenda, and we've got two things that I know of that we need to add to it. Robert, you want to tell us what they're?
This will be under other business. We've got a resolution for the highway department, and also we have a Vanderbilt contract that we need to add that has an automatic renewal, so it needs to be approved by the commission.
Has anybody else got anything that popped up between? All right. All right. So is there a motion to approve the agenda with those two add-ons?
Motion to approve.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We're ready for our minutes from the September 2nd.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion second. Any comments or corrections? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. How about public comment to include those two items? Everybody in the audience want to speak? I don't hear any, see any. We'll move on to old business. Prisoner boarding fee. So Robert takes.
Okay, we have I have an analysis of the boarding fee, and this is based on what we used to do with the state. They have provided a spreadsheet, so I used that old spreadsheet. And what we came up with was an average daily cost per inmate of $75.03. And you can go through the pages, you'll see that there's all the costs are behind it. Some of the costs we had to allocate, like for instance, deputies, we allocated 20% for that, but part of that is because they have to arrest them. And then there's state retirement, local retirement, workers' comp, unemployment, medical, dental, all the costs. Now, we also have depreciation on the cars. This is the cars that are currently being depreciated. We have a lot of cars that are depreciated out, so I couldn't really allocate the cost for those. And it also includes building depreciation.
Okay. So this is much closer,
Get one?
much closer to our real cost per
Yes.
inmate. So $75.03. The state of Tennessee's given us $44 a day for state inmates, but I think it's going to go to 46. I don't know if that was because the jail got accredited or if they would adjust the rate, but I believe we got a little bit of a bump because the jail reached some kind of accreditation status as well. But again, if 46 is the number the state's paying, that's about 61% of what it's really costing us to house that inmate. So it would certainly be my suggestion that we set any rate that we would house a prisoner that we weren't required to have at what our costs are, which would, by Robert's matrix and working with the state comptroller's folks about how they would look at cost sharing, we estimate that to be $75.03. So is there a motion to set a rate? Now, that rate, I guess this body can set the rate and the commission will approve or disapprove, but I don't think we're bound by a particular number, but we need to justify what we would want it to be. We believe the 7503 is a legitimate number.
I'll make a motion, we approve this and send it to full commission.
Second.
All right, motion is second for the 7503. Is there any comments or other questions?
That's good. Thank you, Robert. That's great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you for that. We're ready for new business, our solid waste folks.
We've had several people to pull into the tire depot and drive right past the entrance of where the trailers are parked. So anyway, our new sign people designed a little sign. It's got a little tire on it with little arms waving. So hopefully they will turn into the right place. I don't know how you can miss it, but they have. The new compactor is scheduled to be installed October the 21st at the Unionville Convenience Center. And we will be pouring the pad. I think it's supposed to be in, maybe not on account of today, but hopefully this week. And we're also running electric service to that. I will be attending the TWSA, Tennessee Solid Waste Directors Association Fall Conference in Franklin this year. It's going to be the end of October. So I'm looking forward to that 3-day event because it usually has some really good information and updates on critical issues for recycling and solid waste. So hopefully that will be beneficial. And there's been several calls from new residents. We're getting, of course, everybody knows more and more new residents coming into town, but they're asking, where they might take certain items and recycle what things that we can take. And they're really surprised that we tell them that there's no charge for it. So
But they could donate.
a lot
Sure.
of places, I told them eventually it's coming, but.
Yeah.
Precious Metals Recycling held a free e-waste collection on September 13th at Heritage South. I have not heard back from him as far as how well they did or how much tonnage they took in. Our household hazardous waste event will be October the 4th from 8 until noon at the Bedford County Ag Center. This event is free to the public, and it's an opportunity for them to dispose of chemicals or any kind of thing that we do not take at the centers. The state pays for this service, so it's no cost to us at all, which is great. We have flyers at the centers to advertise. It's been on Shovel Good News Magazine, our webpage. There is no paint collection at this event because we have the site at the Shelbyville Transfer Station. So every year we still get people coming in bringing paint, although we have it advertised. And our monthly reports for August, we had 18,258.69 in revenue from recycling. That was 81.09 tons. Land disposal was down 46,245.75 and 921 tons. Down a little bit on that, but it'll go back up. So, any questions?
Think
Thank
so.
you.
On paint, did you tell us in a different meeting that if you pour it on paper or something, let it dry, or the can is dried out, they can throw away paint cans?
Yes,
in the
if the paint cans are completely dry and there's absolutely nothing in it or nothing that can come out,
Right.
they can trash them. If it's plastic, they can just throw them in the garbage. If it's metal, we can recycle them in the metal bin.
Okay. And you said you could pour maybe some loose paint or something on paper or something and let it.
We have been asking, instead of trying to recycle the latex paint, which we've got a load that's going to go tomorrow to the landfill because that does cost us. If people on just latex only, not the oil base, but if they will pour that out on old newspapers, an old sheet, blanket, something like that, let it dry, and then you could just trash it.
Okay.
There's nothing harmful in that. Any of the stains, oil-based paints, we do have to collect that, and that goes to the state.
Yes.
The new compactor, Diane, is that going to be for just waste, replacing the waste one, or is it cardboard?
It was scheduled to be for cardboard, but we're having problems with
Yeah.
that compactor. So the old compactor that was taking trash will be taking cardboard, and that new one is going to be taking the garbage.
Okay. Second question on the household hazardous waste. Are you taking batteries that day?
Yes, if they want to bring them, I will take
take
them, and I'll take care of disposing of those.
And then last thing, I tell people about the paint, and 5 seconds later they don't remember. If we could have something just printed out for them, like
And we do at the centers. They've got where they can take that and actually what they need to do with that, but I can print something else and run
to
the
have
ad
on
and-
household hazardous waste
Yeah.
day is what I'm saying. Okay, that's good to know
and
that
then
the
spray
centers
cans, if they will spray the contents out of the spray cans, then they can trash those.
in metal, if it's
But
metal.
they have to be empty.
Right. Now, when she said battery, we're talking about car batteries, or are we talking about other type
We'll
batteries?
take anything. The car batteries or any of the batteries are accepted at the centers. All the centers take the battery.
Okay.
Whether they're the small ones or the big ones, and then we will dispose of those. Well, actually, FPT takes them.
All right. Any other? Thank you for that. Human resources.
Okay, you all have the numbers on our new hires for the month of August, and there were only two total that came on board, one being full-time, one part-time, and then there were 11 that off-boarded. So I wanted to go on and do a breakdown since that's a higher number than we're normally used to seeing. And they weren't obviously for all same reasons. Some people were just life choices, walkaways because they were transitioning in between positions and they just stopped in to help us, while we were shorthanded in a department. But a couple of those were sheriff's department. 3 were jail corrections officers. 1 was fire. 2 were EMS. 1 was juvenile detention. 1 was juvenile court, and 1 was probation. And so some of them were just, hey, this isn't going to be for me, and move on. Those were not all policy violations. Those were just life events that took people in different directions, just to clarify that. We do have job postings still for corrections officer, and juvenile detention officer, as well as EMS. We just added fire, after I printed this report, we just added some fire position, full and part-time, that we're going to accept applications for. Sheriff's deputy and dispatch communications clerk closed last week. So we'll start doing the interview process shortly on that. We did recently fill the probation officer position. We've already handled that one, and we've added some fire as well, a custodian and a corrections officer position, and I put in 2 additional offers to individuals with officers this week for corrections. And then you can see a list of my active and ongoing HR projects. I did have some Title VI surveys that were due for the courts and the archives department, so those were submitted accordingly. I did schedule and coordinate with our newly assigned Empower Ready rep, who handles the state retirement contract with TCRS in the state of Tennessee. And so he came to Bedford County and visited with employees all, I believe it was Tuesday of last week, and it was an all-day event. We did do a group meeting to start with employees that wanted additional information or were interested or were new hires about our TCRS and our 401, 457 retirement options. And then we broke off into individual appointments for him. And then I've worked with him again to add some additional dates for some departments that needed to get some more individuals in. I started gathering information and deploying that out for our open enrollment for medical, dental, and eye insurance for next month. And then shortly thereafter, we'll start in November with life insurance. One thing just to keep you apprised on, medical is the same. The state held the same contract vendors, so our employees will have Blue Cross Blue Shield and they'll have Cigna. iMed stays our vision carrier for the upcoming 2026 year, but Delta Dental did not receive the contract from the state of Tennessee this year. That was awarded to MetLife, and so some information has been sent out on that. That's an automatic enrollment for employees who are currently on Delta Dental. If they like what they're on in Delta Dental and they don't want to change, they will be automatically enrolled into that plan with MetLife effective January 1st. That transition will happen. So we've tried to make sure that we get all of the information out to employees accordingly. The rates are the same for individual coverage for MetLife and Delta, so there's no budget impact on that to the employee through a voluntary deduction. And so we've sent all that information out just to kind of keep you up to date on that. And if you all had any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer those. And then you can see, I also did a county engagement with some of our 5th graders enrolled in Bedford County schools. We did some mock interviews. We talked about what kinds of questions you answer on an interview. We talked about what some of their favorite subjects were and what positions they were looking to fill, and kind of how the correlation of what you like in school and following directions. And for my math people who wanted to work in a restaurant, why fractions are important, and just trying to be, relate what their subject matter is and the importance of following instructions to what those kids are going to bring to the table in an interview environment in their future days to come. And like I said, I've done my training with the audit committee and the insurance committee with the state for the
I
month.
got one too. Okay. Robert's got to come.
Sure.
On the Delta Dental, if an
Mhm.
employee chooses they don't want to go to MetLife, they can go to Delta Dental direct, but it's going to cost quite a bit more to do that.
It will. Thank you for bringing that up. If an employee just really, really wants to stay with Delta Dental and it won't be offered through a voluntary deduction, they can do direct bill and set that up with their banking institution and do like a direct, but it is considerably more. One of the, and Delta was, they're in MetLife's bids to the state we're very close, and the state creates a committee to review those bids and make sure that they meet all the criteria. And then they have a formal recommendation that goes to the committees that decide who are going to hold those contracts. So it wasn't a decision that was made lightly. We did look, those of us that were looking at rural community providers for MetLife versus Delta, believe we have 4 to 6 through MetLife that take here in Bedford County, and there are 6 with Delta. So it's relatively the same. And some will still take, even if they're not an in-network provider, and file it, but you would only receive money back through an out-of-network that the insurance carrier will mail you. And then if you don't want, as an employee, to do MetLife, then that would require me to go in, or you to go in on your Edison account and stop it. Otherwise, it's going to be an automatic enrollment.
And are we about 350 employees on the county side?
Yes, higher than that.
Okay.
Now, usually around 365.
Okay. Yeah. So, of course,
Depending
school
on the
system's got a
season.
bunch more. But when you're talking about over 350 employees, we obviously will have some turnover, but if you look back, it has stabilized compared to what it was a few years ago whenever we were so out of whack with our
Yes.
starting pay and benefits. So
Yes,
thank
we
you
haven't.
to the commission for continuing
Yes.
to stay in the fight to make sure we're doing cost of living and
Yes.
improving benefits.
I know those
where we
weren't
can.
easy decisions, but they were necessary decisions. And the updated salary chart has worked effectively. I don't want to put words into other directors' mouths, but it's been a very smooth process when we do offer letters. Everybody knows what a formal offer, what it's going to match on there. So there's not incorrect information given out. At the time of the offer, the employee knows where they're at and where they can go if they stay in the organization and create some longevity with us. So it's really, really nice to be consistent across the page. So thank you all for everybody that was involved with that decision, because it has helped tremendously. And we don't see a lot, and that's why I felt the need to explain the offboarding number today, because we don't normally see that.
Any other? Thank you, HR.
Uh-huh.
All right, archives.
Well, the last August presentation was about pretty much the same as usual. You have the statistics there. We have been doing a few things a little different. Thank you for doing the Title VI, Shanna. Always appreciate that very much. And thank you, John Carney, for doing our post today. We did a cooperative with Giles County Archives today, and John gave us a nice blog post for it. We appreciate that. And so all of those kind of things are what are going out and coming in with the archives program. And I did a Zoom meeting this afternoon. I'm a little tongue tied. It was my responsibility to do the program. So I did that as well. So any questions?
Any questions for archives?
No, sir.
Also, we got our grant. We got our Tennessee State Library and Archives grant.
How
Got that
much?
approved.
How much was it?
$3,000 this time.
And you've been making the investments in shelving when you get those, or
Not this time. I'm going to do folders and boxes. We're going to need a lot of boxes coming up. We're needing to improve some of the historic records, and we are taking in more records from both Circuit and Chantry from their offices. So.
thank you for that. We're ready for our owner rep.
So I'll just hit on some highlights. It's a long report. Conservation office will begin next week. And we've gotten all of the approvals to move the grinder pump. Roofs are all finished at the schools and archives building. And we're ready to put the canopy up. We got everything ready for that. I would like to point out, we wrote some grants back in May, or should I say Lori Sheeler wrote them. And we started getting our checks for the lighting that we had put in at the sports fields, and our first check was almost $70,000. So we're expecting that from all the schools that we did that. So it was a lot of hard work on her part, but I think it's well worth it.
What about a surplus facility?
Surplus and juvenile facility will go before the city for final reading Thursday night at 6, and I don't see any issues. I've talked to one of our city council people. We put those projects together, so we had to go back before the city for final approval.
Okay.
And we have everything ready to go. We've even started cutting and putting up silt fence, everything we do, removing some lighting, got utilities run to the property line.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you.
right.
Appreciate it. All right, our monthly reports.
There you got a copy of your monthly report. I don't really have anything unusual to report on the monthly financial statements. We didn't have a lot of revenue because the revenue for July is actually, most of it is a receivable for the prior year. So that's why you don't see a number there. But if you go over to your analysis of tax collections, you will see there, you'll see we had a little bit come in August on property tax and prior year taxes. As far as clerk and master, we had some money there, and the sales tax started picking up in August. So we have 37,000 more than the prior year at the same time. So
Yeah, I believe the taxes have been mailed out because I think I've already
They do.
seen mine. Now that
yeah.
they, I think they intentionally try to do this as early as they can so that folks that need to maybe make some payments or installments or make arrangements gives them more opportunity to do that. But I believe they're still due February before they're in the end of February before they're delinquent, or certain after January. I believe it's in February.
But I might mention on prior year, we've collected 134,000 in the same time last year. So that's the two big items, that and sales tax. As far as other expenses, I've got an analysis there. Anything in red is above the average. The average is 16.67%. So that's my monthly report.
Comments or questions about that stuff? All right, I think we're ready for other reports, which is EMS.
All right. I don't have much to add to my report that you guys have. We're doing a couple classes this weekend. We're doing an EMR refresher, I believe they said this weekend, and also the state requested we do an advanced EMT refresher. Our program's doing well. State's actually requesting us to do classes for them. We're going to do that next week. We're also planning for the craft fair coming up and a few grants that are coming out. I know the state EMS grant we will definitely get. Everybody gets it that applies. That should be about $22,000, and also a Tennessee safety grant that we will be applying for. Those are 100% grants, and we'll be working with finance as soon as we're ready to apply for those. But that's all I've got to add, unless anybody has any questions.
So call volume's off just a couple from a year ago. I just happened to look. In general, you're not concerned that it's leveled out, or is it slowed down some?
It slowed down just a little bit. It goes in waves.
Yeah, we need a
obviously.
break.
We do need a break.
Yes, sir.
As COVID, we were very high. So now it's kind of trending off just a little bit the last couple of months. So hopefully that continues to go like that.
All right. So we need a motion. Any other questions for him? Thank you. Motion to approve reports. Is that what we need?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Move to approve the report.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And then EMS write-offs that was in your pack, and it would need to go to the commission. This is the standard. These guys run it through their system for collections, and then once it's exhausted,
That's the uncollectibles, right?
correct.
Move to send on.
All right. Motion second. Any comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Now we're ready for budget amendment number 1 for the county, I think.
Okay, if you'll turn to page 1, you'll see a summary of the revenue adjustments. We had some donations. We had an EPB grant of $275,000, spay and neuter grant of $1,200. We had some grant adjustments of $169,721. We had a CDBG grant of $219,000. We had a health department improvement grant of $267,000. We had the ARP broadband ready grant of $100,000. We had a DOJ K9 grant of $59,000. And then we had some refunds, and we had to reclassify some interest. And what that is, that's the money, that's the interest on the opioid money that we get. We have to put that in a separate account to track that. And then we had a few items that came from fund balance and restricted fund balance. The restricted amount, most of that is the archives. That's an amount that's being moved. If you go to the next page, you'll see a summary on the next 2 pages of where this went into the budget. It's the same items, but it's just spread in different accounts. So that's the amendment. If you have any questions, there's detail behind that. Now, the salmon colored page is the highway department. And here we just had a department transfer, and that was it.
That's in with the county budget amendment.
Yes.
Correct.
And the next area is the white pages. That's the debt service fund. We had to reclassify that interest. So that's the same related to the opioid. The green sheet is the school capital projects fund, and we moved some money from fund balance to building improvements. That's it.
Robert, go back to page 1 of the first one.
Okay.
I'm lost on that restricted fund balance. Help me on my number.
We took out 123,500.
Oh, I see. I got it.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Any other questions about this? This is on the county side of the school. We need a motion to approve and send it
Second.
to the commission. All right, motion second. Any other comments or questions regarding this one? Okay, all in favor? Any opposed? We're ready for Board of Education surplus property. That list, I think, is in your packet.
Move to send on.
We just need to approve. It doesn't have to go to the commission.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
Motion to approve.
Okay. All right. So motion to second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Takes care of that. Now we're ready for, we had a resolution for a capital outlay note. What do you want to say about that?
Okay, this was for an interfund loan to go to the highway department so they could redo their building down there. I think a parking lot, some fuel tanks. And we need to defer that because we thought we would actually have some firm numbers by now, and we don't. So we're going to have to defer it for a later time. And hopefully we may have that next month. But we're going to actually bid the project out to see if we can't get a firm. Anything you want.
And that's in line with what we've talked about and that you're working on.
Yes, sir.
Correct.
Yes, sir. We're waiting on to get it all bid out where we know exact the numbers and stuff and how exactly we're going to move forward with it.
And so this would keep us from having to borrow the money, but it would be still paid back
Yes.
by the highway
That's
department.
correct.
in
The
the
highway
end.
department will pay back debt service.
Okay, but we're asking to defer it
Yes,
a month.
correct.
So is there a motion to defer?
Second.
All right, motion second. All in favor? Any opposed? All right, next we have a mineral severance tax resolution.
And I'm going to let Mark address that one.
The state this year passed where the counties could, if you're collecting mineral severance tax, you can double the minimum amount. So that's what we're putting in here to help them. Hopefully it'll bring us some more revenue into the highway department where we can put them back in roads and stuff like that right there. So that's what this question is. We're just doubling their current.
Was it
Mineral
11% or 11 cents? Was it before this?
I think it was 13 cents.
Wait a minute, what?
And it's going to go to
20.
20.
But it's going to be 20
Yeah,
now.
it's gonna be 20 now, yes.
And that was only made possible because the state changed.
Yes,
We
change-
were
change the
at
law.
the max we could have
Yes.
prior to that.
Mhm.
We have to adopt this to be able to adopt the new rate.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and 100% of these funds go back to highways.
Yes. It has to be put back in roads.
Right.
Yes.
All right, is there a motion to send this to the commission?
Make a motion, we send it to the commission.
Second.
All right, motion second. Any other comments or questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? We're moving on to copier lease. We love copier lease.
This is a 5-year lease, so it needs to go to the commission for approval. It's beyond 1 year.
It's for Southside.
Move to approve.
Southside Schools.
Second. Got a second to that?
Second.
Yeah, motion second. All in favor? And that goes to the commission.
Correct.
Right, to the commission. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, we flip over other business. We had a resolution and a contract. So go ahead.
Okay, the resolution, this is also from the highway department, so I'm going to let you address that one too, Mark.
This is a planning grant that we turned in for about 4 years ago and we received. This is a resurfacing plan for counties that they could put in for it, or they'll come in and they'll adjust, look at all of our roads and give me, and grade them. And it's a budgeting tool, and it helps us moving forward in the future where I can budget out some different roads where we have the most traffic and things like it right there. It'll be a great tool budget wise, and it'll be a great tool for the highway department to prioritize more roads and exactly which ones we need to do first and second based on today's activity that we have. So, and it's a 10% match with the grade. The maximum amount that the state will award is $250,000, and the highway department will pay that 10%. But I'm not asking for any money; it's just asking for the resolution for a show of support to go along with my grant application.
Motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor? That'd be aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
Man, ooh, crickets, baby,
That
crickets.
scared me a little bit. Lord mercy.
I got you. Don't worry. All right. And then Vanderbilt.
Okay, the next one, this is a contract between Vanderbilt and the Bedford County Schools, and we received this from Tiffany Swain. And if you'll look at page 3 of 7 under the term, you'll see that it shall automatically renew. And thus, it goes beyond 1 year. We have to have this approved by the commission. And this is something we've discussed in the prior time with the auditors. So this is the proper way to do it.
This related to schools, but still goes to the commission because
That's
it's greater than
correct,
1
because
year.
it's greater than 1 year.
And schools and the superintendent, is there anything you want to clarify?
These are students who are hospitalized that they provide homebound services. Just have
Gotcha.
So we added it today so we can actually not delay this any more longer we have to.
So we need a motion to approve, send to the commission.
Motion to approve and send it.
Second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. I don't think we should have any other business since we put these on. So we're ready for some announcements. Is there anything that anybody needs to
So we got
say?
the household hazardous waste is the 4th, the 3rd, whatever that Saturday. Okay. Flat Creek
Same day as the
Barbecue.
barbecue.
Right. And the Flat Creek Fire Department barbecue. It's great. It's great. In and out too. Flat Creek Fire Department chili barbecue is 4th, and Normandy chili supper is 11th.
Barbecue starts at 4 p.m. 1600.
Meal show is this Thursday through Sunday. Everybody needs your money.
And show your mule. There you go.
You can win a mule.
There you go.
I know that's the only reason I go.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. All right. Is there anything else to come before the body?